Independent fact-checking and corrections are encouraged.
Can we get a cup of coffee in here, please?
Damn good coffee and hot.
Yeah. Damn good coffee and hot. I tell you what, COVID ruined everything. That's all I got to say today. Good morning, folks. It is Friday, which is a good day. It's your Issues with Andy Day. It also happens to be St. Patrick's Day and my stepson Eric's birthday. It is Friday, March 17th, 2023. Yeah, that's the right year. I'm like Glenn Campbell now. What year is it? Anyway, good morning. Hope you're having a good morning so far. I got my good coffee and hot, but I'm running out of room on my desk to put stuff because I have extra mixers now. We are on Live 365, simulcast all around the world, coming to you all around the world, standing tall and proud in the big house in 109. Anyway, interesting day. As I mentioned, COVID ruined everything. I'm not going to get into details why I'm saying that this morning, but it did. It ruined everything. People talk, yeah, it could have been an upside here. Fuck that. It ruined everything. Nothing we can. It's done. There's nothing we can do. That's it. But we've been arguing about the source, the origins of the breakout of the pandemic for 3 years, and some people were convinced it was a bat at the wet market. Some people were convinced it was an accidental leak from the lab in Wuhan, and some people are convinced that it was an intentional release from the Chinese government or evil people trying to just depopulate the planet. It hasn't worked out, has it? If that was the plan, lame evil villains. They're not Bond villains. It's like got a bunch of people. We killed some people, killed a lot of people, but not depopulating the planet. The planet's population it continues to grow. Damn, evil bastard missed again. But today, well, this week actually. This week, an international team of virologists, genomicists, and evolutionary biologists give me credit for not fucking that up at 9:00 in the morning. I'm not going to try it again because I will fuck it up again. May have finally found crucial data to help fill the knowledge gap on the origin of the COVID pandemic. A new analysis of genetic sequences collected from the market shows that raccoon dogs, I don't know, being illegally sold at the venue could have been carrying and possibly shedding the virus at the end of 2019. Raccoon dogs. Is that a hybrid? Is that something I could Google that, but I just don't have the energy. Raccoon dogs. We have coy dogs here, which are coyotes and half coyote, half dog. I never heard of raccoon dogs. Is that some kind of like weird hybrid animal? You got dogs fucking raccoons over there, or raccoons fucking dogs? Well, how would that work? Who would be the daddy? Doggy or the raccoon? I don't know. Maybe I'm totally off base, and it's just a species that's actually called raccoon dogs that I never heard of anyway. But so this will light that whole debate. Lab leak, intentional lab leak. Yeah, they did it to put chips in us all. They did it to depopulate the planet. They did it. Oh my God! It's a never-ending conspiracy theory crap. Oh, Ian is in the chat room. He knows about this stuff. Ian knows a little something about everything. Yeah, it was hot dogs made from raccoons. Definitely not the virus lab located in the exact city. Uh, well, I'm not sure that that's what they were saying. The lab had nothing to do with it. I think what they're saying is that these raccoon dogs, strong as evidence yet, these dogs, raccoon dogs, raccoons, or are they dogs? Whatever they are, they were exposed to it at that lab in that same city. But they were talking something about some genome marker in a raccoon. It's waste, you know, biology stuff. Way over my head. I don't care about that stuff. Uh, anyway, no, the raccoons did not not escape from the lab. I think they were. Uh, no, it doesn't say anything about them escaping. Wait, like, should I read it again? They were being illegally sold. I guess at pets. I don't know. Who the hell would want a raccoon dog? I mean, raccoons are nasty. My friend Vinny had a pet raccoon, but he didn't have it for long because they get nasty. You can't well, they talk about you can't domesticate all sorts of animals. I think that's just that's lazy. If you want to domesticate, you could probably domesticate, I don't know, a wildebeest. Probably, I say. Anyway, this is St. Patrick's Day. Are you Irish? Are you Irish? I am one quarter Irish and half Italian and one quarter German. And most of my life, I was told that St. Patrick was actually Italian. That's a New York urban legend. And I just found out that that's in St. Pasquale, they call him. He's not Italian. At least according to not what I'm reading to what I'm reading this morning, he was not Italian. He was not Irish, but he wasn't Italian. Nor was he ever a saint. He was never canonized, according to what I'm reading this morning. Now, who the fuck knows? It was so long ago. How does anybody know about somebody who lived 1,500 years ago? A kid. And there were never any snakes. Well, I don't know if there were snakes, but he didn't chase snakes out of Ireland. Um, yeah. Good morning, Kelly Beanflicker. Kelly Beanflicker says she's a little Irish, but most think I am because of my name, my hair, and my green eyes. I don't know what the green eyes has to do with it. I mean, I don't know. I know green represents Ireland and all that stuff, but I don't think it has green eyes. Yeah, maybe I'm wrong about that. I could be wrong about everything today. I'm wrong about raccoon dogs. I'm wrong about St. Patrick. Well, he wasn't Italian. Here's we go. St. Patrick, patron saint of Ireland, is one of Christianity's most widely known figures, but for all the prevalence in culture, namely the holiday held, not really a holiday. Nobody's getting off today. Is anybody get off from work for St. Patrick's Day? Some people take off, and we always call it a sick day for school. No, nobody went to school on St. Patrick's Day during high school anyway. Uh, but for all the prevalence in culture, namely the holiday held on the day of his death, uh, that bears his name. His life remains somewhat of a mystery. Now, most people, when they hold a holiday for you in your honor, it's on your day of your birth, not the day of your death. Sounds like, I don't know, either people were ready to get rid of him or happy to be rid of him. Yeah, let's celebrate. He's dead. Or you would celebrate his birth. Or maybe 1,500 years ago, they were just stupid, like me. Many of the stories are traditionally associated with St. Patrick, including the famous account of banishing all the snakes from Ireland, are false, the products of hundreds of years of exaggerated storytelling. Wow. Go figure. People aren't honest. Who would have guessed that people lie? I'm shocked. Oh, by the way, The news is full of crap today. Um, there's a lot of headlines, but nobody's talking about what the pundits on Twitter are talking about. The big expectation of today. I'll get into that later. But I it's swing and a miss, another Lucy Charlie football thing. Um, St. Patrick wasn't Irish. Irish. He was born. St. Patrick was born in Britain, not Italy. I swear to God, in New York, especially hey, Paisan land in Brooklyn, South Shore of Long Island, Little Italy. The story of my whole life is that St. Patrick is actually Italian. I think thinking today now, finding out that that's all bullshit. That was created because the Irish and Italians here did not get along. So, how did my mother and father get together? Because my father's Italian, my mother's Irish. How did that happen? Because, listen, I've been called Guinea a Wop, you know, Dago, all that kind of stuff, but almost exclusively from local Irish people. I never got called that by a Jew. I never got called that by a black guy or a Puerto Rican. Nobody ever called me a Dago, a Wop, a Guinea. Irish people call me that. They don't like Italians. The Irish immigrants who were in New York and the 5 Points, they set up, you know, shop for better lack of a better way to describe it. They made it their home, and then the Italians came along, and who needs these greaseball guineas coming over here with their meatballs and their olive oil chum and their, hey, she threw it all away. You make me look ridiculous. I'm sorry, I'm taking a tangent there. But so the Irish and the Italians didn't get along. So I'm thinking the Italians made that up about St. Patrick actually being Italian just to piss off the Irish. And I believed it for 64 years. Where was I? He was born in Britain, not Ireland, to wealthy parents near the end of the 4th century. Long time ago. How do people know anything about this guy? It's not like they were keeping accurate records. Oh, let's see his birth certificate. Birth certificate. Birth certificate. Hello. He's believed to have died on March 17th, around, see, I don't even know what year it was, around 460 AD. Although his father was a Christian deacon, it has been suggested, I would like to suggest, it has been suggested that he probably took on the role because of tax incentives, and there is no evidence that Patrick came from a particularly religious family. He wasn't big on the Christianity thing. But at the age of 16, Patrick was taken prisoner. 16, taken prisoner by a group of Irish raiders, by a group of Irish rogues. What song is that from? Uh, by a group of Irish raiders who were attacking his family's estate. They transported him to Ireland, where he spent 6 years in captivity. There is some dispute over where this captivity took place. There's a dispute about everything, apparently. Although many believe he was taken to live in Mount Slemish, in the county of Antrim. Oh, Kid Antrim. Now we're getting the stuff I recognize. It is more likely that he was held in County Mayo in Kalalala. Who the fuck knows what that means? If you know what that means, you're an Irish scholar. During this time, he worked as a shepherd. Oh, you know how that goes. Uh, During this time, he worked as a shepherd, not a German shepherd or an Italian shepherd, not even an Irish shepherd, an English shepherd, outdoors and away from people. Well, that doesn't sound like captivity. We're going to hold you in jail and that farm where nobody's watching. That's there's James Garner movie. Bruce Dern is in it. Where Garner, I think it's to support your local sheriff. They arrest him, and the jail's not built yet, and they make him sit in a jail that has no bars, no on any of the windows or cells, nothing to hold him there, but he stays there. This is St. Patrick. During this time, he worked as a shepherd outdoors and away from people while he was in captivity. Lonely and afraid. Oh, poor Pat. He turned to his religion for solace, becoming a devout Christian as he couldn't figure out how to escape from nowhere. It is believed that Patrick was first began his dream of converting the Irish people to Christianity during his captivity. Now we're getting to it. He became a full-blooded Jehovah's freak, wanting to change people, make people into his religion that he found on a farm he couldn't figure out how to escape from. I didn't ask for you to turn on Siri. Go back to sleep. She's a bitch. Um, to After more than 6 years as a prisoner, Patrick escaped. He finally figured it out. Hey, nobody's watching me. Man, did you know about St. Patrick's? Or you thought you knew about St. Patrick, right? Uh, let me look at more on this. I'm trying to read the comments and go and keep reading this stuff. It's fascinating to me to find out this stuff. I don't know, because 64 years I believed in the nonsense. I didn't believe in the snakes. I never believed in the snakes. After more than 6 years as a prisoner, Patrick escaped. According to his writing, he wrote, a voice, which he believed to be God's. Oh, let's talk about that. Uh, Spoke to him in a dream, telling him it was time for him to leave Ireland. Hey, Pat, there was some guy. Hey, what's your name? Tony. Yeah, fuck you, Tony. Yeah, fuck you. That wasn't God. It was some dude. Some dude who said, you can leave the farm. Nobody's watching. Oh, I think I'll escape. To do so, Patrick walked nearly 200 miles from County Mayo, hold the Mayo, where it is believed he was held by you, the person who wrote this, to the Irish coast. After escaping to Britain, Patrick reported that he experienced a second revelation of an angel. Now, if God talked to you personally the first time, why is he sending an angel a second time? Did he not get along? Did God not like you? He was kind of a dick. Send it. Hey, get me one of the angels from the mailroom. Go talk to Pat. An angel in a dream tells him to return to Ireland as a missionary soon after Patrick began religious training, a course of study that lasted more than 15 years. So he was 16 when he was taken prisoner without chains. Spent 6 years there, which makes him, 22, and then 15 more years training to be a snake ritter. I don't know about the snakes. We still haven't gotten to the snakes. After his ordination as a priest, he was ordained. I don't know, ordination sounds weird. He was sent to Ireland with a dual mission to minister to Christians already living in Ireland and to begin to convert the Irish. So basically, all the war between the Protestant and the Catholics are on this guy. No wonder they drink. To begin to convert the Irish. Interesting, the mission contradicts the widely held notion that Patrick introduced Christianity to Ireland. Yeah, I wouldn't think he would. I never even heard that he introduced Christianity. All I heard about was the snakes. We haven't heard anything about the snakes. Where are the snakes? They're on the plane. They're on the plane from Britain to Ireland, right? St. Patrick incorporated Irish culture into Christian lessons. Well, good for him. Get to the snakes. Uh, no. St. Patrick was never canonized as a saint. He may be known as the patron saint of Ireland, but Patrick was actually never canonized by the Catholic Church. This is simply due to the era he lived in, during the first millennium, after becoming a priest and helping to spread Christianity throughout Ireland. Patrick was likely proclaimed a saint by popular acclaim. I don't know, and nothing about snakes. Nothing. So that's St. Patrick's Day. That's what you're really supposed to be celebrating, as you basically celebrating the invention of beer. That's what this holiday is. Because I don't know. I just said that, and now that makes me question it. Is it because for me it was always beer, beer, beer? There's not a lot of whiskey, even though whiskey in a jar is a, I don't know, song that you have to play on St. Patrick's Day. Whiskey in a jarro. I get in my caro and drive to Iorlando. I'm shot this morning. It's been a weird week, folks. What can I say? Oh, by the way, we're on Live 365. I should get the app. Get the app and tune into us wherever you are, wherever you are. If you don't know, we're on Live 365 streaming, as the name suggests. Live 365, 24, 7 days, 7, 24, 3, all that. Always, always on. Mind Dog, always on, never shuts up. Actually, it's mostly music. And if I'm being totally honest, it's not my best. It's MP3s I had still still around from. Some of it is, it's oldies. It's a lot of the stuff that I used to play when I was on WNYG oldies radio, but it's also a mix of some weird shit that I had on MP3 thrown in there. I will be organizing it into albums and formats and rock and country and jazz and all that kind of stuff, and different times, like different shows that feature that kind of music. But right now, it's a hodgepodge of whatever you get. You could get a 50 song, you could get jazz fusion, and then, I don't know, something stupid like an Eagles song. I had a bunch of Eagles MP3. Don't ask me why. Not a big Eagle fan, but I had a bunch of Eagles MP3s that I threw up there. I'm going to be putting some comedy on there very shortly. Problem is, this is all work. Make it work for myself. Where was I going with all this stuff? Do you remember where I was going with all this stuff? You know what? I haven't played any sponsor stuff, and I missed out yesterday. I got in trouble for it. I'm going to play Coa Coffee's spot right now. I'm drinking Coa Coffee, and you should drink Coa Coffee too. I'm going to play this. I'm not going anywhere, but I gotta play the sponsors part before it's too late. This episode is brought to you by Coa Coffee. If you are a coffee connoisseur and want to experience the best coffee Hawaii has to offer, no blends, no compromise, try the true taste of Aloha. Koa Coffee produces premium Hawaiian coffee, hand-picked, expertly roasted, like and delivered from Hawaii to your door with Aloha. Aloha, that's what I said. It tastes like they from award-winning 100% Kona coffee grown on the slopes of the Mauna Loa volcano to the unique mocha beans of Maui. They strive to provide their loyal customers with the best quality and freshness. Since 1997, Koa Coffee has been known far and wide as a product of utmost quality, and their awards prove it. Koa Coffee was featured in Forbes' Top 10 Coffees of the World. This is the coffee Forbes called the best coffee in America. Find out what it's all about. Go to minddogtv.com/coffee. You know what? I'm getting some more dirt on Patrick. We're getting to the bottom of this Pat guy. Pasquale. Reading something else about Patrick here. Now, says he was born Roman Britain, which could be where the myth about him being Italian came from, because he's born Roman, but Britain was part of the Roman Empire, Britannia, at the time, so that's why it was labeled as that. He was born Roman Britain. And then it says died Saul, United Kingdom. Saul, Saul, like the name, like Saul, like a Jewish name, Saul. Died Saul. Like, hey, wait a minute. he became a Catholic priest, but died a Jew from Brooklyn. I don't know. Full name. Now this is weird. Full name Marwan Suckat. Maewyn, Maowyn, suck at, Succat. How does that get to be Patrick? His full name says place of birth, Down Cathedral, Downpatrick, United Kingdom. A lot of downs in there. He must have been a downer. Parents Conchessa and Calpamus. How do they know all this stuff? There were no like siblings. Oh, you had siblings. Darcia of Ireland. I guess that's a sister. Again, how do they fucking know this stuff, man? The guy, it's literally 1,500 years ago. I don't know how they know any of this kind of crap. And I'm sure if I keep reading today, I'm going to find out a bunch of contradictory stories. None of this seems to make sense. Bottom line is, nobody's really nobody nobody's really celebrating what we were told they're celebrating, and they were never really anyway. Nobody cared about fucking snakes. Okay, Ian hates snakes. You know what? I'm not a big snake fan either. It's a shame. It's a shame that I'm not, because I like Chrissy, Christina, but it's the snake lady. But I'm not a big snake fan. I would chase the snakes out of Ireland if I could, and I'd never be a saint. And this talking to God thing is where I want to go now. Do I want to go there yet? Well, because I mentioned the headlines. Let's see the headlines here. These are the news headlines, and listen, these are not. There's no such thing as unbiased news or any of that kind of crap. They feed you what they think you want to get outraged about. So Z to visit Russia for the first time since the invasion of Ukraine. People are worried about China and Russia teaming up against the United States. That's fucking ridiculous. They're never. They could, but common enemies make for strange bedfellows. Is that the saying? I don't remember where I parked my car, and I'm afraid of what the future holds. Um, but they're never going to be like buddy, China and Russia. They have their own self-interest, and they're kind of enemies in their own right. So, and they both want to dominate a chunk of land that they have in common. They're not buddies. Sure, they both hate the United States because we're standing in the way of them taking over the whole world. Each one of them everybody wants to rule the world. So she's going to visit Russia, and a lot of people are up in arms over it. In the political world now, and everybody knows, there's no surprise that I think the current Republican Party is like a mix between a sewer, a cesspool, and just like calls bloody ass. It's a mix between all those things. In other words, it stinks to high hell. But you have one faction of the Republican Party saying Russia's not, and Donald Trump is leading this, by the way. He came out with a thing that Russia's not the enemy. We're our own worst enemy. We're the bad guys. The United States are the bad guys. Russia's the Putin got a lovely dick, by the way. So you have the Trump people who love Putin's dick and Marjorie Taylor Greene. I can't see any evidence that Russia would ever invade a country in Europe. And then you look up Ukraine, and right under the flag it says a country in Europe. But so there are the people who think Russia, not our enemy, our friend. They're actually better than us. Good guys. We're the bad guys. Half the Republican Party is on that. Love Russia. Well, Mother Russia, we're going to be singing Oh Russia or whatever instead of the Star Spangled Banner soon. But then there's the other part of the Republican Party who thinks we ought to be at war at Russia. We ought to be shooting down their planes, and we ought to be tougher. So you have John Kennedy and Lindsey Graham and these people wanting to start a war with Russia, and Will in his green shirt acting like St. Patrick wants to chase snakes out of Russia or whatever, coming here.
Hey, it's even got my name on it.
St. Will? Oh, Conway. Wow, that's cool. Is that the name of a town or something, or did you make that up or
Um, so I stole this from my little sister, actually.
little
The
sister? Don't you?
dude, I you know what? I wanted to sing that song at karaoke the other night, and like somebody put it in like two songs before me, so then I switched.
Did you murder him? Is he dead?
No, but I sang Love Potion number 9 instead.
Oh, what a terrible song. Um,
What? You
what a
don't like
terrible.
that song?
No. I started humping everything inside.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like
no.
it. I like the musical interlude because then I get to come out from behind the microphone and shake my hips very sexily.
No, I would make that very dirty. I would, any of those songs. It's just so fucking silly that I would start humping stuff on the stage. I started humping everything inside. Go out and hump somebody in
Yeah.
the audience and get myself thrown out.
I think it's a fun little song. I can't believe you don't like. I think it's fun. It's not, it's not a
No,
great song.
I would agree that, and I've played it a million times. Believe me, I'm not judging you and saying, "Oh, you shouldn't do that." It is fun, and the people will get into it, and the people like it. But it's a
Yeah,
dopey little song. It really is.
it is dopey. It is dopey. About as dopey as St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah. So let me finish before I say good morning to you. Good morning, Will. The thread I was on was about the Republican Party seems to be at odds with itself. You have people who love Russia, Russia, and people who hate Russia, and then I'm just wondering how this is all going to, because they're all on the same side when it comes to wanting to win the next election and want Trump to be the guy, but half of them are saying Russia is no good, and the other half is saying Russia is better than us. Russia's the good guys, we're the bad guys. I don't know how that's going to resolve itself, but somebody better chase some fucking snakes out of that country. That's all I know.
I did learn one thing this morning that I didn't already know, because a lot of this stuff about St. Patrick I already knew, but I did not already know that he wasn't actually sainted.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that the Catholic Church has allowed us to improperly call this dude a saint for hundreds of years, and they've just never fucking corrected us? Like that's crazy.
Well, Catholic Church has other shit going on. If you don't,
Right? Yeah.
but,
Well, no. To me, it's another testament to just how people don't know what Catholic faith really is, or what the stuff of their faith. They hide everything.
yeah,
Or don't even, like, oh no, he's not like that. That should be information that gets corrected.
well,
You know what I mean? Like every St. Patrick's Day, the Catholic Church should come out and be like, oh, hey, by the way, not really a saint. You know what I mean?
Just stop calling it St. Patrick's Day and just call it some dude named Pat. Some dude named Pat's Day.
Yeah.
But the part that jumped out at me is there were already Christians in Ireland, and he went there to convert them to Catholicism. That sounds to me the roots of the Irish conflict between Northern Ireland and the Protestants and the Catholics. He's responsible for that shit. He's a warmonger.
So, I think it's worse than that. Actually, I think it's way worse than that. I think that this Mr. Patrick is. I think Mr. Patrick is really largely the person responsible for the death of many, many Druids, the people that were living the original Celtic way with the old traditions and stuff. And those were the people those were the snakes that he was getting rid of in Ireland. He was getting rid of the serpent church.
I think you're onto something.
Yeah.
I think you're onto something. And we should, first of all, I mean, all this stuff. It's not even Pat. He's Moywin. Moywin. No wonder he wanted. Yeah, just call me Pat. Patrick or Maywin.
Yeah, his real. Yeah, I can't even say his real name because his real name is something way different. Do you have an article you're reading there?
Yeah, yeah. It's Maywyn, suck at.
Yeah,
Maywyn. Myron M. Mertz. Um,
yeah.
back to my Jerry Lewis shit. But yeah, nothing about this guy adds up. He's a suspicious little character. I don't know. Maybe he was chasing raccoon dogs out of Ireland. How about that? Because they had all had COVID.
Oh my
Uh,
god.
it's just all crazy. It's a crazy day. Now, staying on the Trump thing for a second here, because Trump's spiritual advisor. Say, I didn't mention this. I failed to mention this. All this news stuff, all these headlines, are avoiding the political uh, fire on Twitter, where people are claiming today is the day that Donald Trump is going to get indicted in New York City, in New
Oh,
York
is it?
and the Southern. That's what they're claiming today at 1 o'clock. Trump is going to get indicted, and Trump believes it, and Trump's lawyers believe it. But his spiritual advisor talked to God last night, and God has said that he's not going to let his son be indicted. He's going to put a stop to this evil today and put Donald Trump back in the White House today. Now, God gets around. I got to say this. He gets around. He talks to a lot of people, and then they say, I mean, he's everywhere, but he talks to a lot of people. But if he's so busy talking, why does he even need angels and stuff? Ambassador, go talk to this guy. He seems to be doing fine talking to people on his own. Has he ever talked to you? Have you ever got a message from God?
Uh, man, we're gonna get into murky water
No,
here,
I mean,
Matt.
did 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 God ever speak to you directly? You heard the voice say, "Hey, you're not locked on that farm. You can get off the farm. You're not really a prisoner."
I mean, if you want me to, okay, I love you, Matt,
All
and
right.
and I know that you got some pretty hard stances on some stuff. I think, um, but like I've had a very vast spiritual experience in this life, and and I definitely think that there's been times where I felt the
Wait.
presence of God or was
Felt the
led by the
presence
voice
of
of
God is
God.
not what we're talking about, and I don't diminish anybody's spiritual awakening, whatever they go through. This is the literal God saying, "Will, wake up! I got to tell you something." You know,
Okay, I mean, all right, I'm going to tell you a story, and this is the best I can remember this story, um, and I'll tell it like 100, and take it as you will. All
wait,
right.
wait, before you get into Kelly likes hard stances. I don't think she knows what stances mean. Stances are not
Yeah,
like
yeah. The stances are not the dildos with the like sucker stickers on the
mushroom head.
thing.
Yeah,
Those
that's
aren't stances.
right. Okay, now you can tell your story. I just wanted to
All
clear
right.
that because I think she probably had something dirty in her mind, like always.
She probably did.
Because
So
God woke her up and said, "Kelly, get a hard one."
during during the time that I was in jail for my robbery, um, it was a very difficult time. Mentally, you go through a lot because very early on, I still was really unsure of like what kind of time I was going to be looking at or whatever. So I was very distraught, and um, and one particular day, I just felt really oppressed by darkness, by doubt, by all these negative things. And are you listening to me?
Yes, I'm listening to you.
Okay, well, I'm just making sure because you're reading some other thing over
No,
here.
I'm
I'm
not.
just
I'm not
checking.
reading. I'm making sure the stream on the radio stuff is going right
Oh,
and we're getting good levels
you're
on you and
watching
all.
you're watching people fly out the door and not listen to us anymore
Actually,
as I tell
no,
the
no.
story.
Actually, the numbers are pretty good there. People right now we have 370 listeners, and that number hasn't changed since like 2 seconds into the show. So
No, that's great.
people aren't fleeing; they're waiting to hear about God waking you up.
Okay, so I was having a super bad day, and like I said, like I just felt very oppressed in the mind. I could just feel. I was feeling a lot of like urges that weren't regular to me. You know what I mean? Just a lot of nasty thoughts going through my head. And I was pacing in jail. A lot of people will just walk in circles in jail because you don't have shit to do. So you just walk around the unit in a circle. And so that's what I was doing that morning. And when the officer came in for one of his like unit checks, um, I told him like I was feeling really messed up, and I was like, "You need to lock me in my cell." And he was like, "It's not lockdown time. You like your door can be open." I'm like, "No, no, no. Like you don't understand. You need to lock me in my cell." And and he was like, "I'm not. It's not lockdown time. I'm not going to lock you in your cell because like one of the things jails don't do usually is go against their procedure, and the procedure was that this was not a lockdown time,
And they don't take requests from
and I
prisoners.
hadn't given them a reason to
Yeah.
lock me down. You know what I mean? And yeah, and like you said, they don't take orders from inmates. You know what I mean? They don't
Right.
just do what we tell them to do. You
Yeah.
know,
Oh, wait, a
and
prisoner wants something. Let's jump.
right. But when it became clear to me that he wasn't going to listen to me, I just went to my cell and I started just slamming the fucking door. And I mean slamming, bro. Like, and I was like, and just wham, wham. And I was like, I said, lock the fucking door. Like, I mean, I really fucking. And then he was like, yeah, okay, we'll lock the door. Right. And I'm not kidding you, bro. The minute that latch was turned, I went to the back of my cell and ran into the door. And then I went to the back of my cell and ran into the door. Like, bro, I did this multiple fucking times. You know what I mean? And my head just started really spinning. I couldn't catch anything. Dude, my world was in fucking chaos. And I felt very outside of myself. It felt like I was experiencing everything from another point of view, you know, which is another head trip, weird in and of itself, you know. And then, I mean, I just felt like an evil presence, an evil darkness. And when I finally got to the point where I had calmed down, um, they came into the room and they told me that they were going to move me to the mental health unit so that they could put me in an observation cell. Um, and I asked them if I could take my Bible with me because I was Christian at the time. And by the way, this is where I want to say, remember a long time ago, I said something about how faith has all the power that you believe it does. Like what you put your faith in, what you believe in, has all the power that you give it credit for. You know what I mean? So because of my ideologies at the time, I think is why a lot of this happened. I do want to preface that. Um, so they take me to this other unit so that I can be in this observation cell. And the only thing I took with me was my Bible, and I clutched that thing like no other. And it wasn't like a regular bed, it was just like a concrete slab in that room. And I got on that concrete slab and I held on to that Bible and I just rocked back and forth. And I don't know how long later it was, but sometime into the night, um, and it's really hard to tell hours and stuff because they keep lights on all the time in jail, you know. But I could tell that it was sometime later, and I'm pretty sure that it was nighttime at that time. It's not like I had a great window or something. But um I woke up. I woke up and I was saying the 23rd Psalm. Like, and I was just saying it over and over and over. And as I'm saying the 23rd Psalm, I remember thinking to myself, I don't really know the 23rd Psalm. Like, I don't have that memorized. Why? How can I be saying that right now? And then I thought to myself, how am I thinking about how I'm saying what I'm saying when I'm saying it? You know what I mean? Like, and The room was super, super bright, and I felt, this presence, and I heard a voice say, "He is mine, and you cannot have him." And it went away. Like the darkness and everything that I felt, the oppression that I felt was gone in that moment. You know, I've tried to make sense of that day 1,000 fucking times, bro. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
That's not the anywhere close to the story related by God woke me up and said Trump will not be indicted today.
Yeah, no, that's definitely not close. It's definitely not close.
it, it,
But I do
this,
feel like God has talked to me. He doesn't
well,
talk to me about Trump, though. I mean,
or God didn't actually speak to you. You heard a voice inside your head, but that's not the claim. It's not the claim
of
Pat made.
this other guy. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's pretty right.
and it's
I
not the
gotta think that's gotta be like almost political suicide, isn't it? To
you.
claim that sort of thing,
Well, no,
you would think so.
you
Wouldn't that be
no. I would
political
not.
suicide to be like God talks to me?
You remember Oral Roberts? Oral Roberts, God told him to run for president. He didn't blame him.
I,
You would think if God told you to run for president, he'd probably be giving you some inside information
the
that you might.
victory is assured. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like I'm not even worried about
You
it.
told me to run so I could lose.
Yeah.
What kind of God are you? I
Well,
could have.
God likes to teach you through failure sometimes. I will say this: life is funny in the way that it'll continually it will present you the same lesson until you learn it.
Well, that's some truth in that. Um, who's the guy? I'm trying to see now if I can look this up. The guy who God told him tomorrow's the day over and over again, and his followers kept believing him. And he got it, obviously got it wrong every friggin' time, but he kept going on the radio and saying, God came to me last night, not in a dream, Harold Camping. Um, God came to him in a dream and told him tomorrow, you know, and he puts out the actual date. Most recently, October 21st, 2011 was when he predicted, and people who follow him were like selling everything, getting getting rid of all their worldly possessions. Tomorrow's the day, getting called up. Oh, and then first he did it on May 21st of that year, 2011, and then his follower was like, "I'm fucking broke now, dude. You told us it was the end, and I gave all my shit away, thinking
Right.
I'm getting called up." And then he said, "Oh, oops, God must have stammered or something. I didn't hear him right. He said October, not May. I don't know."
Yeah.
But God comes and talks, and to believe that, you have to believe that God is a person, a personification of a being, a human, an entity, and
Right.
that's a bit too far for me. Like that's basically the old man in the sky, and
Right.
that's I'm sorry, that's a very childish belief in my view. It's like I can believe that there is something greater than us. I can believe that the universe might have an intelligent origin and a creator. Possibly, I can't. I believe it. Maybe it's too far. I can accept that it's a
Right. The
possibility.
possibility exists. Right.
But to see the old man in the sky with the finger to come touching down and grab Michelangelo's finger and say, paint the chapel ceiling."
Right.
Old man in the sky kind of. We all need a grandpa. We all need a father figure to help us through this.
Right. I mean, I've said it before. I think some kind of semblance of faith, no matter what it is, having faith in something, I think is very critical to a happy, fulfilling life. Because I think without a semblance of faith, it's difficult to find your purpose or settle into a purpose. You know what I mean? Faith is probably one of the things that helps us achieve that more than anything, because it shapes what we believe in and how we believe in it and what our moral principle is going to be. And you know what I mean? Like, so I think it's an important thing to have, but I think it's also important to not tell other people what their faith should be, because I think faith is something that's very personal and individual, and it should be individualistic to each person. You know what I mean? Like even if we have the same kind of faith, like no two Catholics are really going to be the same. No two Lutherans are going to be. They might say some of the same prayers, but like where they're at in their heart and their intention, like to me, it's about the personal relationship you have between you and your higher power. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Faith is a weird, because it can be delusional faith and still serve its purpose. He,
Yes, yes,
I
for
mean,
sure.
Hitler had faith in something.
Right,
Not maybe he didn't
right.
call it God, but he had faith in his own, you know,
Yeah.
purpose in
And
taking over the world.
so like in the 12 step groups, this is how they do it, because they really do a good job at letting people come to their own understanding of their higher power. But and a lot of them will, like, if you want to stay away from religion, people will call God good orderly direction and stuff like that. You know, but they say that it needs to be loving, caring, and greater than yourself. Like it needs to be a loving God, a caring God, and a God that's more powerful than you are.
Okay, whatever. I
Well,
don't.
because you're saying, Hitler had faith. Probably wasn't a very loving, caring faith, though.
No, he thought it was.
I mean, oof,
He
ouch.
had himself
Ugh.
convinced that he was a gentle guy, that he was doing what was right for his country and his people, and that whatever providence had sent him on this course. Now,
Well, that's
obviously,
because crazy people don't know they're crazy.
exactly, exactly. So but and this is why, and I talked about this and got myself some hate mail over this stuff, that I never forgive forget what Hitler did, but the idea that he was born evil and he's like incarnate of the devil and all that kind of stuff. I just think he was a confused dude who convinced himself of something and then was so sure in it. Surety makes people follow you. People say, "Well, look at he's so fucking sure
Well,
he's
and it's
right."
a self-feeding monster too, because even if you come to a place where you think maybe I should dial it back, you've almost doubled down to the point where you can't, because if you do, then the whole thing falls apart.
I wonder. Yeah, exactly. This is what I think. This is the lesson Trump learned from Hitler: is never take a step back, never apologize for anything, never, no matter what goes wrong, just keep saying, this is the plan. This is exactly the way I wanted it." But you say dial it back. I wonder if Hitler ever once in his life thought, maybe I should dial it back a little. Maybe I should say, Jews aren't that bad.
Yeah.
It's just really, I'm just mad at one guy, Lowenstein, who screwed me over $20. It's not all the Jews that I hate. It's just this
Right.
one.
Just that one guy.
I don't think he ever had that idea. I think he went forward thinking everything I do is right. Everything I do is right.
Right.
Why doesn't the world see it?
Right.
Narcissism, it can be
Right.
play a big part
Yeah, for
in
sure.
corrupting your faith and thinking that, oh, God sent me. And this is the problem I have with talking to God. It's like God doesn't tell you. Well, none of these. Maybe for this lady, God came and told her Trump will not be indicted today. And if he's not indicted, oh my God, she's going to be like,
Oh, right. Because
you
then
know,
she's validated.
yeah, totally validated. But God never says, you know what? I just came to you to say your neighbor is hungry. Could you go over there and bring him a sandwich?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I would. That's the kind of God. If I got a message from God, that's the kind of message I would want to get. Like, oh, I would want Lassie. And I believe more in Lassie. Timmy's stuck in a hole, but I think that's God's purpose. If God wanted to come to me and talk to me and say, Timmy's stuck in
Yeah.
a hole, he needs it.
So, all right. So I know that you don't necessarily believe in God, like talking to people or whatever, but I just want to say to those viewers and listeners out there that might think that kind of thing happens. If you if you feel somebody randomly be pressed upon your heart or in your thoughts, call that person because or text that person because that's God giving you a message that your friend needs you. So
Hmm.
reach out and do
Reach
that
out. Reach out, baby.
because like for real, you have no idea how how things can improve when if we just start being there for people in the smallest of ways.
I agree with you. Well, I'm gonna sound like I'm not agreeing with you. I do that. I do that all the time.
You do
If people,
without the voice. Yeah, yeah,
but it has been there have been instances, several instances where I wanted to kill myself for doing it. Like, oh, listen, I just thought of you. I gave you a call on the phone for 2 hours listening to bullshit, the same bullshit stories I heard 20 years ago. Last time I talked to you, can't and halfway through the conversation, I'm like, where's my gun? I got to eat my gun. Where's my gun?
but I mean, it gives you perspective though. In the end, you hang up and you're just like, God,
That's why I didn't contact that guy for 20 years. I remember now why I haven't called him.
Sometimes that's it.
Yes.
Sometimes that is it. Sometimes you do get a hold of somebody and you're like, yeah, that's why I don't talk to them. Shit.
Yeah.
Like,
My that's what my Facebook is of all the people I knew in high school or before high school and all that stuff. Every single one of them reconnects and they say, "Oh, I haven't seen you in 40 years. How you been?" Oh, I remember why I haven't seen you in 40 years.
right.
You're a dick.
Yeah.
I got a
Dude,
lot of that.
I went I went back home. This is when my folks were still alive, and I had visited back home, and I went to the local bar because there ain't shit else to do in my hometown, and and as soon as somebody said my name, just by how they said my name, I knew that they were someone that bullied me when I was a kid. You know what I mean? I was just um, like, and what occurred, like immediately when he shouted my name like that, like I immediately tensed up inside and was like regretting a conversation that I knew I was about to have. I was regretting the immediate future. It was really weird how that triggered me in that way. But as I sat there and as I stood there and I conversated with this dude, the only thing I could think in my mind was like, do you really have no idea what I think of you? You know what I mean?
I
Do
forgot.
you really think that how you treated me when I was young makes me want to stand here right now as a man and fucking give you the time fucking day for fucking anything? You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
like I'll be honest with you, bro. Like I thank God that I'm a different person than I used to be because there was years of my life. I'm talking at least 10, 15 years that if one of three dudes would have stepped in front of me, I'd have became murderously violent in a second
Yeah.
until I let go of some of that anger and some of that hurt. And I still hold on to some of it. Some of it is still there because it's so deeply rooted because of how I was affected. But I've let go of a lot of it, so I've grown. But it's still, dude, like it flabbergasts me how you can run into somebody that totally fucked with you in high school. But it's a real signal to it's nothing to the bully. The bully that picks on people, they don't. It's not about you.
Right.
Like it's not about when somebody bullies you. It is not about you. It is not about even what they think of you. If somebody bullies you, it is completely about what they think of themselves, right? And the reason they talk to you that way is because they want to feel differently about them. That's why they're bullying you, you
Well,
know?
I
And
would.
so,
That's a. I hear what you're saying, and that is generally true. But there is the other part of it, and I don't want to sound like justifying it, or there's a part of human conditioning that says
right.
this is acceptable. So if you've been bullied,
Yeah,
you come to, because I know, I went through some of this where older kids bullied me, and then I figured that's a rite of passage. That's the way things are supposed to be. That's normal behavior, and
right,
normalized it, and so passed it
right.
on to younger kids below me. But here's the thing with your guys, and I know for most part a lot of bullies are this way. They wouldn't have been bullies at all if they had the least bit of self-awareness
Right.
so they forgot that they were bullies to you.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Like I'm standing there talking to this dude. Like you have no idea. Like, like I don't like the fact that I'm looking at your face and hearing your voice is fucking offensive to me right now. I'm just looking at this person thinking, like, how do you not know that I don't want to be anywhere near you? You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, but I had to come to realize, like, that's not registering with them.
right.
Like they don't remember that shit. They don't think of that, you know. And like he even referenced something that kids used to do to me and then laughed. And then I just kind of went like, yeah, you know, because like he in a very blasé kind of way, you know, referenced one of the lighter, you know, things of bullying that they did to
Oh,
me.
remember that time I shit in your tuba?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You know, one of the more minor torments. You know what I mean? But you know, like I will say collectively, when I look back at my life and experiences like that, you know, it becomes less and less surprising how damaged I was. Because like, you know, like I come to a point where like, bro, I was getting it from all angles. You know what I mean? When you're a young child and you just don't have a safe fucking place anywhere. You know what I mean? Like it's like one of the worst feelings in the world. You know what I mean? Because you feel abandoned, you feel helpless and hopeless and you know and 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 the thing about it is that like when you realize that people didn't know what they were doing to you. Like they just didn't know because even you know people that bullied me in school had no idea what was happening at home. You know what I mean? My
Yeah,
dad at home never thought about what was happening to me at school. You know what I mean? Like I remember and it was a weird compound thing. Like I remember getting sent home from school for fighting and my dad beating me up, not because I got sent home from school, but because I lost the fight at school and he wasn't gonna have me losing. You know what I mean? Um yeah, I mean like that was the kind of ideology my dad, you know. But then when I started to freak out and act out violently, like when I started punching holes in walls and you know you know messing up doors in the house and stuff, my mom would be like, "What are you doing?" And I'd be like, "Trying not to kill dad. That's what I'm doing." You know what I mean? Because like whenever I hit this ball, I'd like to hit him. You know what I mean?
you never got in
Which
a
would
fight.
you rather have me do?
Did you ever
You
get in a
know?
fight with a physical fight with your dad?
I struck my father one time, and it was the last time that he hit any of us, and I had blocked his hit, and that was the same day that I thought I told the story here before, maybe I haven't. Um, one like couple days, it was the same week my sister got her braces. Um, So I was probably, oh, I was 13. So my sister was like 15. And my sister was kind of popping off at the mouth that morning, and my dad backhanded her. And that backhand put her bottom braces through her lip. And that night, me and my dad were doing dishes together, and I decided to say something about what he did to Karina that day. And he got really upset, and he was like, "I'm not gonna have my kid telling me how to be a parent." And he took a swing at me, and I blocked it. And with everything I had, I just went center mass. And because my dad was a very big dude and he had a very big belly. And one thing that I know about big bellies is that the high center part of someone with a real fat belly is the weakest point. And if you really hit that, bro, that the way the coach always said it was get him in the bread basket. If you get him in the bread basket, because that's that little dip in the top of the stomach, which is like indicates where the solar plex is, pretty much. You know what I mean? Um, he said, if you get them in their bread basket, they're gonna go down, and he sure did. I got him one good time in the center of his stomach. He hit the wall, and then he fell to the floor, and I bolted, just bolted out of the house. I was like, I am out of here. You know what I mean? Um, and it was like 3 hours before I called home before I even entered the house again because I wanted to make sure. And what my mother said was interesting because I was super scared. I was afraid to come home. I thought Dad might like literally kill me because he was a violent dude, you
Yeah.
know. And Mom said, you know what? No, you can definitely come home. I think he understands that maybe we need to start handling our problems here differently.
Wow.
And that was the last time he hit any of us. The only time, but I did. So when I was 16, I found out that my dad stole all the money that I'd been saving as a kid. Because
Holy
I
crap.
started, I started having a paper route when I was like 11, and I had that paper route probably until I was like 14 or so. And then I had another job that I had under the table every once in a while at the same time. So I had stacked up quite a bit of money. And then I got certified as a nurse aide at 15. Like I literally had to wait to turn 16 to start working. And so I was ready to get a car. And I had my little bank book because my dad had taught me to keep real good track in my bank book of my account. And I knew that I should have had close to $7,000 in my bank account. And I went to buy a car. Dad went to go with me to do a car deal. And I found this Chrysler LeBaron convertible that I really liked, and I knew I had enough for it, but like for some reason, like there just kept being a hitch in the get along. There was some kind of delay in the process, and after a few days, I got upset, and I was like, "I have what is the big deal? Why can't we get this done? Because I know I have the money." And my mother looked at my dad and she said, "You need to tell him." And I was like, "Tell me what?" And then my dad told me that I didn't have any money. I had like $200, a little over $200 in my account that they had spent my money as it was needed all throughout the years, right? That they never, you know. And here's what I'll say about that. Um, I think that if my dad would have said something, I'd have just helped.
Yeah, yeah, right.
You know what I mean? But you just fucking took my shit and let me believe that it was there this whole time. And then when I'm
Well,
about
that's
to
the
get the
most
reward
fucked
that
up
I
part
feel
of
like
it.
I've earned, you're
Yeah.
gonna tell me it's not fucking there anymore.
Well,
You know what I mean?
that's really fucked up that he knew you were applying, you were gonna buy this car, and it was gonna be
Yeah,
found out.
he went to dealer. We went to like 3 or 4 dealerships together. And that motherfucker knew there was nothing in my account for me. But that was the kind, dude. My dad was one of those. My dad was not to call my dad Hitler or anything, but
No.
my dad was one of those people that like once we invest in this lie, we're gonna fucking go all the way.
Well,
You know
that's
what I mean?
surprising that you didn't understand the woman in the operating room driving her husband that she just shot in the head to the hospital, but waiting until they found the bullet in his ear to think, okay, this is my move. This is the jig's
No,
up.
I mean, okay, like believe me, I know people like that are out there. Believe me, I know they exist. I've
I'm
experienced them
caught.
firsthand.
Oh, they found the bullet. I
But
bet that.
but so when that happened, it created, as you might imagine, a really big argument between me and my father, and it was really volatile for us. Um, I did chase him like an ice chipper. You know those like it looks like a hoe, but it's like straight out instead of bent.
Yeah.
Those ice chippers like that. I swung one of those at my father with every intention of killing him, and then when I think it was like 2 days later, I ran away because I was like, if I don't leave this fucking house, I'm gonna kill my fucking dad. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
know that. I know
and
that feeling
like
very
that's
well.
really when I think about why I ran away, why I ran away from home at 16 was the main motivation behind it was if I don't get out of this house, I will kill my father. Like it was a thought that I was having so often that I knew I had to get away from him or
Well,
something bad
I
was going
went
to
through the
happen.
same thing at 14 when I left home permanently. Um, it was kind of that somebody's going to die here. It could be him, could be me, could be my brother, could be my mom, could be anybody, but somebody's going to die of murder in this house if I don't get out of here. And
Yeah,
so that yeah, it didn't take me long. I made that decision on a Wednesday, and Thursday morning I was gone. I was
yeah.
about 1,500
But I
miles
mean,
away.
when you realize something like that, it's a it's a real wake up call. It's like
Oh,
because
ah,
what is that about?
that's a polywater cracker. I don't know
Ah,
why I have the
ah.
parrot in there, but I'm not getting rid of him. I like the parrot.
Okay, listen,
Uh,
listen, Matt,
And put it back up there. I like that. Oh, now I want to do a parrot.
listen, Matt. You gotta, you gotta be a more positive person, okay? You
positive.
gotta
I am
believe that
positive.
things can work out.
Oh, we
I'm
can call him Positive Petey.
yeah.
Positive Petey's here. Okay, listen, and I just want everyone to know that you are worthwhile. You're a good person, no matter what your conduct is.
Fucking no. We're cutting off the cracker supply.
Hey,
Fuck.
you ever notice that? Like, so this is the thing that I think is important to make the distinction about.
Uh-oh.
Uh, not like not everybody is a good person. Some people are pieces of shit. Like I was a piece of shit. I was a piece of shit for a long time. Super big piece of shit. I had to become I had to learn how to become a good person. It was in me the whole time, but I had to learn how to like bring that out of me because like it was covered in a lot of muck and mire from the crap that I had been through. You know what I mean? But like dude, like learning to just not be reactive but be responsive instead. You know what I mean? Learning those kind of things, like that's helped me immensely. A lot of why I used to be a piece of shit and a terrible asshole was because I didn't think about anything. I reacted to stuff immediately, and I didn't have like a process of reasoning and like, is this gonna hurt somebody or that, this, that, or whatever. I didn't think about that shit. Something happened and I would just react without really putting any kind of thought process into it. But when you live life intentionally, I think it's really hard to be a bad person when you really think about what you do and what you say, how that's going to affect other people, and what kind of impact you're having.
I'll
You know what I
consider
mean?
that. I'll consider that. It doesn't. Because I do think I do put a lot of thought. I'm a very thoughtful person, but I know I can still be that total
Oh yeah,
asshole
me too.
all
Me
the
too.
time,
But in
I could do it even if with precognizance,
yeah,
thinking about it. But it's not until later where I regret the thoughts
right.
I were having in that moment. But
Sure.
I could still turn on. I could be an asshole any day now, or
Oh
on
yeah.
any moment. I could switch on
Oh
a
yeah.
dime and be a total dick. I know that.
But let me ask you this though, because I find that very true of myself too. And I mean, you can, like, my wife knows it, my son knows it, people on Facebook know it. I'll turn on a dime,
I
bro.
know.
You know, but I'll say this. I can generally say that when I'm being an asshole, it's I'm being reactive and not responsive. I'm reacting with emotion and not responding with my thoughts.
Um, I would not say that fits my perception of where my asshole triggers are. Uh, my asshole triggers are generally not reactive. It's out of frustration that people can be so completely fucking stupid. Like, I
But
get
what are you,
flat Earth people make me an
right?
asshole because
Hmm.
how can you be that fucking stupid to not come? You're believing in 1,500-year-old, 2,000-year-old superstitions rather than real facts. And how come there's no talking sense into you? And you're going to be, talk down to me as if you have the answer, and I'm
As
the
if
idiot
I'm the
talking.
idiot. Yeah.
Uh,
Like, wait, to you, gravity doesn't exist, but I'm the moron here. You
right.
know.
Yes. So that's the kind of stuff that drives me to asshole. I'm not being reactive about it. I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking, well, this person can't be saved in my worldview of how
There's
I can
no
get
hope
along.
for you.
I'm never going to get along with this person, so I
Right.
might as well give them reason to cut me out of their fucking life completely.
Hey, if you're gonna hate me all the way, baby.
Really? So we never talk to each other again. I think the world will be a better place if you and I never talk again. That would probably be the best thing for everybody,
I'm.
all 8 billion people.
I will say. I can see how you would think that. Although I think there's a high entertainment value with you talking to Flat Earth Dave. It
No, there's
always
definitely
always
ratings
seems
in it.
good for us.
Definitely ratings in it, without a doubt. And last night I had, and I gotta go. I gotta go work. But last night I had a lady on who was talking about her book about Alzheimer's and dementia, and I had a guest on just a couple of weeks ago that had that, and I said I had to explain. This might seem like I'm having the same topic on because she was going to contradict what that other person said in some level, and I knew that in advance because the title of her book was "Lies and Fake Faces of Alzheimer's and the Truth About it," whatever. And so that says well, she's going to say that what other people are saying are false. And it might seem like I'm in it for ratings by having that person, but I was generally curious, like what is the other side of the story here?
Right.
But so I'm not a ratings guy. If I wanted to be purely for ratings, I would have flat earthers on every fucking day of the week. Flat earthers and simulation theories and all these people, and I just have them
Right.
on and get into shouting matches and all this kind of stuff. It would be good to bring in the numbers. The people love fucking conflict and all that stuff. I
What
could
what
do
were
that.
the ratings with the linear light guy? What did he get good ratings?
Not no, not in the live.
I thought that one was really good.
I I think people like he's if I don't know. I think if I would have had the birds are not real guy that would have probably been something. But for some reason, the linear, I don't think people grasp at least from the marketing perspective, the way I promoted it, how absurd that guy's claims were going to be.
Right.
Because it was hard to tell exactly what that was really all about. It wasn't plain and simple like birds are not real. I get that, what that's about right away, and I got to see this guy, because if he actually believes birds aren't real, they're drones and they're being charged by the government, they're sitting on wires like USB devices charging up, all that kind of stuff. That's something people can gravitate to. But when a guy says he scale of light can heal people, I don't know what the fuck that means. I'm not gonna, you got to be plain and simple. Flat Earth, that's pretty simple. The Earth is
Right.
flat. Scale of light. What the fuck is that?
I don't know. To me, I thought the concept of it was the idea of it was very interesting, but um, but it seems pretty hokey.
The problem with this, listen, this is why keeping an open mind is a good thing. But if you keep your mind so open that you're just letting bullshit and garbage flow in,
Yeah, yeah,
that's
you
not a
can't do
good
that
thing.
either.
So
Yeah, it's
this is
bad.
why you got to ask these people, how does it work? I can't. It's quantum energy, man. I can't explain it to a dopey guy like you. I mean, and let me
Yeah.
talk to Einstein. I'll explain it. No, I'm sorry. Tell me how it works. You built this fucking machine that looks like a fucking Polaroid camera
Right.
and a fax machine all in one. And basically, you're just gonna put my picture in it. It's gonna know wherever I am on this fucking flat Earth, wherever I
It
happen to
was gonna
be.
change my energy.
Gonna go up to Google Earth and find out where I am and just heal me
Oh man.
miraculously. How does it work? You're too stupid to understand, man. You're too. That's the problem. You're too stupid to understand. I got miracles here in this box. I invented this. I feel better. It healed me. Anyway,
Right.
happy St. Patrick's Day. Now, Grant's
It's
New
Mr. Patrick's Day. The fucking dude. I'm never
Mr.
calling it St. Patrick's Day
Mr.
again.
Suckett, Mrs. Suckett's Day.
Yeah, Suckets. Is that his last name?
Suckett, Succat. Yeah, Mr. Suckett. It's
Sucket.
happy Mr. Suckat's Day. His name wasn't even Pat. We could have
Yeah, I mean, the whole fucking thing is a sham. God.
Happy Will's Day. But what I want to ask you now, Grants, New
Yeah.
Mexico, are there pubs? Are they doing big Irish things in Grants, New
Fuck
Mexico?
no. 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 Not here. Not here at Grants for sure. There might be something in Albuquerque.
I would
I'm
think
sure Albuquerque's got.
Lincoln County was founded by Irish Americans. Well,
No, where I grew up was very Irish. Robert Emmett was like an Irish dignitary or whatever. And like when I was growing up, like I guarantee you they have a parade in Emmitsburg still. And like we had Irish dignitaries who would come to our St. Patrick's Day parade. My first drunken disorderly was for puking on an Irish dignitary that come all the way from Ireland to get puked on by an American teenager.
wow. All right. Now, here's a little something for the people who want to completely say, "Well, who is this fucking Matt Napo mind dog dude?" When I was 16 years old, 17 years old, I was a big believer. I believed in reincarnation. I believed in what I was being taught about reincarnation and delusions of grandeur being what they were. Tried to connect myself to somebody famous in the past. And I came up with Billy the Kid. I was Billy the
Oh,
Kid in the past life.
yeah, right.
Billy the Kid was born in 1859. I was born in 1959. Billy the Kid was born in New York, Long Island, New York, in Brooklyn, or the Five Points part of Manhattan. Was not sure, and kind of went west to New Mexico. At a very young age, and learned to speak Spanish and became friends with the Spanish people, much like I did. And then, and so I went through this period where thinking I'm following the path of Billy the Kid. I'm out there, and go out to New Mexico, and Billy the Kid is the biggest fucking star. He's a fucking Elvis
Yeah.
of
Oh
New
yeah.
Mexico still.
Pretty
And
much.
and and so, but then I started looking into the history, and in my 30s, it occurred to me again. It started to come back to holy fuck. There's some real coincidences here. I was working for Jim Dolan in my 30s, and I look back. Billy the Kid was fighting, and I was working for Jim Dolan, but I was his enemy within the ranks. Billy the Kid was fighting James Dolan in Lincoln County. My direct boss was Brian McSween, his Dolan's brother-in-law. Andrew McSween was James Dolan's brother-in-law that Billy the Kid was fighting out there, and I'm like, holy shit! Look at all this. And the Cablevision, the company I was working for, that Dolan owned, was a monopoly that was controlling the entire area and trying to take it over and bullying. And James Dolan was the monopoly. The house of Murphy was all James Dolan's, monopoly. And so it's just like, wow, all this stuff starts to feel like connected again. And I was a big believer in that stuff. And I had to really smack myself. Like, come on, anybody could come up with these kind of coincidences and bring that. But we're just talking about Lincoln County being founded as a heavily Irish enclave in the middle of a Hispanic territory at the time. Just reminded me of how idiotic that the thought processes I was going through in my. So when people say I'm closed-minded or just jaded, I've been through it all. I've followed every fucking belief system. I've converted to every fucking religion out there. Been disappointed by all of them. And I'll just say that there's a song I wrote called "Turn to Gray," and I wrote this in my 30s, and it says, I don't care much about religion. I lost it in my youth. I followed that road till the dead end sign let me know I was abused. And it was all about every book that had the answers in it that I read, every fucking religion, every fucking road that you go down promising to give you answers and understanding of the universe, in the end, always disappointed me and let me down. And that's how I got to where I am at 64 years old. It's just like, everybody is just another repackaging of the same failed answers to life, and I got all the answers to mystery, and that will make you a cynic. That will make you a very negative person. It certainly has me. So that's where I am today. Anyway, enjoy your day. You're not going to drink, are you? You're going to be
No,
well, that's not Irish. You got to get
I mean,
drunk.
yeah, but I mean,
I know.
I mean,
I'm not. I'm not.
yeah, I don't. So I mean, it's not that I don't ever drink because I'll occasionally have a couple, but um, I don't drink to get drunk anymore, like at all. So if I do drink, there's probably some sort of social reason for it. But I don't really, and like if I were like planning on going out with friends and doing something on a day like today, I mean, I certainly might, but like I'm not doing bar crawls or anything like that anymore. Like those days are done for me. I'm done with that kind of
Yeah, yeah,
stupid shit.
yeah. You know what? Fuck that. If I were gonna drink, I'd drink alone, like George Thorogood. I yeah, all by myself. Uh,
Yeah.
that's what I would do. But I'm not a drinker. I'm a smoker and a toker and a midnight,
Yeah, I
whatever.
mean, I'm good with weed. I like my weed. I stay pretty even keeled. And that helps with anxiety and all that other stuff. And
Now, I'm gonna. I do have to go, but I'm gonna expose. I'm gonna rat out somebody here. Somebody that that everybody knows, who used to be on this program, contacted me yesterday by text message asking me about what's the difference between Delta 9, Delta 8, Delta 10, and
right.
she was gonna buy some.
Well, she does question everything.
Yes, she does. And and so she says she was on the line. She's shopping for CBD, straight CBD. I was like, CBD is non-alcoholic beer. What the fuck? You're doing it for the taste, but you don't like the taste. You're gonna smoke. Like, what's the point? You don't like the smell of it. You don't like the taste of it. But that's really all CBD is.
Yeah, that's all you're getting from it.
So she's
I
gonna
mean,
buy that.
it's not all. Like, I've had some CDB products that I've used from pain in my back that work really well, but
So she was gonna
I,
spend
I agree with what you. I get the sentiment though.
$54 on a can of Bud, uh, Bud flour to roll. And I was like, you know what? Fuck that. Come over. I'll get you high. Oh, I know.
Yeah,
I can't get high. I'm a lightweight. Well, what the fuck are you even looking into this shit for? She thinks like
right.
if I just go with CBD, I'll get mildly high that I can handle it. No, you won't get anything, and you'll feel like I just wasted $54 and my house smells like weed now.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Uh,
She said, "Well, I'll get all paranoid." I said, "That's not going to be your worst problem if you come over here to get high, baby."
I'm doing last rites with Carl tomorrow. I wanted to mention that.
Not today.
Is it today? I thought didn't we say Saturday? I
It
swear
could
we said
be.
Saturday.
Carl, he doesn't go by any schedule.
I'll
So,
check my schedule again, but I swear we said Saturday.
all right.
But
Well, we'll do.
if it's today, I'll do it today. I don't care. I could.
No,
That's fine.
you probably have it right. He does it whenever he feels like doing it, and sometimes he will schedule stuff. But I'll tell you this: he always starts late.
Okay.
You know,
I'm not worried about starting late. I'm worried about like, dude, I've seen some of the time logs on these podcasts, bro.
no.
Like,
But the thing is, well, if he's drinking, it can go long. Why he loves Brock so much, he's got a comrade, a
right.
drinker, a buddy in arms, comrade
Well,
in
I
arms.
mean, so I'm not gonna lie, and you probably already come to this realization already. I'll talk for about as long as you let me. You know what I mean?
No,
But,
I don't think so. 14 hours, I think you'll get tired. I, I mean, yeah,
right,
I know you can talk, but there is a limit to everybody's stamina, and especially uh, when the person you're talking to is getting drunker and drunker, and you're
right,
not.
right,
It's
right.
one thing if
Yeah,
you're
no,
getting
that's
drunker and
true.
drunker with them,
Oh,
but if
yeah,
they're just continuing getting more trashed and you're still straight, there's going to be
yeah.
a
No,
point
it's
where
tough.
I'm
It's
not gonna.
super tough.
I'm
Yeah,
done. I'm done.
because I
Tag
will
me out.
say, as someone who doesn't drink as much anymore, but does like when I have shows and stuff, I go out, fairly often, and so I'm in bars with drunk people all the time, and I'm just stoned usually, like I'm the guy out on the patio that everybody flocks to because his shit smells the best because I always got that loud shit, you know what
Wait,
I mean?
what?
But anyway,
What's that? Oh, wait. Okay. All right. Oh, and God just told me it's time to end the show today.
all right, we're gonna go now.
Not yet. Well,
What?
it's not my. It's God. Just what?
No, we
Him?
don't.
Him?
No, we
Oh,
now
God.
hate St.
No,
Patrick.
God just told me to tell you what. Run into the door. He wants you to run into the door head first.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Come on. Right on the show. You might on the. Oh, and he also has he also has instructions for Kelly. What you want Kelly to do?
Kelly
On,
needs a flicker bean.
yeah, that's
I
what he
heard
said.
that too. I heard that. I heard that. Kelly.
Yeah.
Kelly,
Wow,
come on.
it's
The,
God. This is
you're
God
gonna
talking.
ignore the voice of the Almighty? Come on,
Oh,
Kelly.
Christina just saw the comment about hating snakes. I knew this was going to happen. See, this is why I'm not. I don't hate snakes. By the way, I fear snakes. I fear
I
snakes.
like to ride the snake. I like to ride the snake to the lake.
Well,
It's
yeah,
7 miles.
we'll pick this up, the snake talk, I think, next week. But the whole Bible stuff is part of the fear of snake. You start off right away. The snake is the demon and the deceiver, and the one who got women to be the evil one,
Right.
to make me eat the apple, or men eat the apple. So
Do you see this right here?
Kelly flicks her bean all the time. I get all the videos, and then Kelly saying no audiences. What the hell? I flick the bean, just no audiences. No, that's not what Christine. We have a
I mean,
conflict here.
yeah, yeah. Christine has already admitted that you sent her videos, Kelly. We have verifiable evidence.
Christina says you can teach me not to be afraid of snakes. Yeah, on a podcast or on a video, yes, but you put one in front of my face, I am probably going to shit my pants, and then you're going to have to teach me how to clean myself up. Because no,
I just want to, Kelly, you're being very sexist. That's a sexist thing to say and do right there.
really, that is.
Very, very sexist, Kelly.
Well, maybe she just means no boys, not men. I would be. Uh, well, that would be very bad. You're filling
I
my head
don't.
with dirty thoughts. I can't think. See,
I
that's
know. Yeah. Listen, we're definitely
just,
going to have to end this podcast because there's not going to be enough blood in my brain for
right.
me to
And
think of
the
anything anymore.
snake is temptation. See, this is temptation right here.
Yeah.
This is
She starts talking about the snake, and look what happened to the conversation. I
right.
agree. I
And that.
agree. Just tanked it.
By the
Just
way,
twisted it.
here's something I'm going to have to work out. I'm going to have to, because we are on radio now and simulcasting all over the world on Live 365 Mind Dog Radio.
Whoop,
I'm gonna
whoop.
I'm gonna have to read every comment. I can't just put them up there and react to them
Oh yeah, that's right.
because
Oh, I didn't even
they
think
don't know
about
what
that.
the fuck I'm reacting to. Well, they just hear me. They don't know what I'm talking about. So
Right.
that's just something I got to remember to do, which I probably won't.
I'll
And-
help. I'll help.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm signing off for today. It's been a long show, man. I went way over, but because I'm so beard up on green beer and all that kind of stuff, I can't even figure out how to end the show.
You tell the truth like the Catholic Church.
I know. Oh, well, that's a good way to end it. Well, have a great weekend, everybody. Don't get in too much trouble. If you're drinking, don't drive. If you're driving, don't drink. And
Yeah, call a friend, please.
if you're chasing snakes, make sure you go not to Ireland, go Denmark or someplace else. Anyway, time to say goodbye. Yeah, I'm so glad we had this time together just to have a
too.
laugh and sing a song. Since we just get
God.
started, and before you know it, comes a time we have to say so long, so long. Turn on your radio. This episode is the wrong thing.
I now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me.